Hello, my loves. It's that time. It's the spring favorites deck list time. I am so excited to do this video. It's a little bit later than I like to do this video for you guys because I know how highly requested this one is, but here we are, better late than never. And it's been so ridiculously gray and rainy here for like 2 weeks straight. That my spring deck list is really evocative of my November list just because it's been so gray and so dark and stormy here and moody, and we're kind of in this like humid in between chilly space, so it's definitely brought out a little more of my moody nature than I typically have in late April, early May. So it's a different springtime deck list than I typically do. You are gonna see some repeats from the previous list just because I've really been having a great time with a few of these. But yeah, we're gonna get right into it. I will say that I do know and understand now that as much as I might love the idea of living in Washington State, I could not do it. It is just very, very gray here. It's been a lot of gray. So I'm gonna have a sip of tea. I do also want to say I am dealing with some serious allergies, and so I am a little bit sniffly, just so you know. Sorry about that, but it is what it is. Okay, and I'm trying to think like, where do I start here? Because yeah, okay. I'm gonna start with the Divine Muses Oracle. This was gifted to me by a lovely viewer and sister in tarot, and I've done the unboxing on the channel. I have not done a full review yet. I know that needs to come to the channel. I have like a list of full reviews that need to be done, but I have 2 videos that I want to get recorded today. That's this one, and you have one other goodie coming for you today. And then I will step into doing some more of the full reviews based off of the unboxings. But I knew I was going to work with the Divine Muses Oracle, but I wasn't 100% sure like how when I first got, I shouldn't say how, I wasn't 100% sure when we were really going to start hanging out. And it took until I would say a couple weeks ago. And I was really, really drawn to pull Divine Muses off of the shelf because I have her downstairs on a shelf because she's so beautiful, and the guidebook is gorgeous as well. And start working with her personally for healing ancestral wounds within my family line. And wow, is this deck powerful and amazeballs for that type of work. The guidebook is such a worthy investment and so worth really working with, in alignment with your day, if you're doing daily draws with the deck, like in alignment with your daily draws, or if you are using it for a very specific reason like I have been, it's really great to work with in regards to preparing to craft ritual. I really find this deck is wonderful to let you know what it is that you want to focus on, and energetically what's supporting you in that releasing work and process. So yeah, this deck is really special. And I would encourage you, like, if I look how gorgeous that image is. Can we just for a second? Yeah. So if you are on the fence about purchasing this, or you're going to purchase it, or you own this deck, I would say really look at this not just as like a traditional divinatory deck, but really looking at it also as a magical assistant and a messenger from your gods. I think that this deck is really, really just powerfully effective that way. And I love this collage. I'm really like really embracing it and falling in love with this collage work style. And I actually like the linen cardstock. I have bitched about it over the years, but in this case, in this deck, I do like the linen cardstock. So I have really been enjoying using this as like a magical assistance in any form of ritual that I want to do around ancestral wounds, and also in understanding, especially within the women in my family line, where the psychic wounds are that we've kind of carried forward. and how to get really honest about that in my personal work. So if you are looking for a deck like that, I think that this is one that you may want to give a try. I'm really, really, really enjoying working with her. This is an independently produced deck. It was gifted to me, so I don't know about the price, but I will put the link down below for you to go check it out if you're interested. I do not make any money from any of the links. They're just there to make life easier for you and me. So that's the Divine Muses Oracle. Obsessed. Okay, I know that this is like not really a springtime deck, but I have been really reinvigorated in my love for Deviant Moon Tarot. Like, I seem to just really want that, like, shot of tequila, give it to me straight, sweetie. And so I have really, really been enjoying getting reacquainted with the Deviant Moon Tarot and working with it when I just need the facts, ma'am, when I'm in a Columbo mood, you know? If you get that reference, I love you. But anyhow, I've really, really been enjoying working with this deck for those really straight, honest, truthful moments. And I'm always what I love about this deck especially is that I'm always really like drawn and repulsed by the artwork at the same time. And I do think that that's the artist's intention. And I do think that it's very effective in helping you to get really clear with your shadow wounds and really clear about your own motives that you might not want to look at, and also what's really going on in a situation. And I think Deviant Moon Tarot is really just well designed for that type of work. I also forgot how much I enjoy the shape of this deck as far as like shuffling and laying cards out. And I have found that this deck really loves clarifiers a lot. It loves to work with oracle decks. So Deviant Moon's actually just been like out on my table and I've been working with it a lot. Again, color theme wise, I mean, it's in alignment with me, but it's also like more of what I would think I would be working with in the fall, but the weather has just been so very much fall-like in a lot of ways that even though the trees are budding around us, that Deviant Moon has just felt really right to work with. Now, the other deck that I've been working with a lot, and I have talked about this, I just did a video like kind of revisiting my love for this deck, is the Mystical Shaman Oracle. And I've been, again, working with this personally. I've been doing daily draws and journaling with her. And she's been really instrumental in helping me to really get honest about that ancestral wound, that then the Divine Muses Oracle comes in and helps me see how I can work with ritual to honor, release, understand, get clarity on that ancestral wound so I don't continue to pass things down within my family line, so that I can let that ancestral wound be rewoven in a healthy way within the pattern. And this deck is so beautiful for that. Incidentally, I would also say that if you are looking at like feeling that you are supported by the divine in your journey, this is a really beautiful deck to feel that that you have that spiritual team that's working with you, that you're not walking alone, right? I don't know, that made me think of Liverpool and You'll Never Walk Alone, but you all know what I mean. It's that beautiful feeling of I'm supported on this path. You know, there are witnesses to my story here. They have things to share with me. I am loved on this path and I do not walk alone. And I think when the biggest piece in shamanic lineage and work that's been so healing for me, and the first time I started to read the myths of indigenous peoples and then started to train under those various lineages in my physical area, the most beautiful piece of that work was to feel, it felt so alive to me and I felt so supported and so loved by the spirit animals that walked with me, by the devas of place, by these beautiful energies. And I think this deck captures those earth ancient voices really beautifully. And I also think that Jenna knocked it out of the park with the artwork in this. So loving working with that. I did an unboxing this week on the Human Spirit Oracle. You guys know that I have a lot of different feelings with this deck. And I'm gonna attempt to open the deck without breaking my nails because my nail tech just did my birthday nails and she was like, don't you break those, Racine. So I don't wanna make my nail tech upset. But I have been playing with this a great deal. I've already done about 4 readings with this deck since I unboxed it. It's a chatty deck and it really likes to work with tarot. It's a very good clarifier. So as far as like my working self this spring, I'm going to use this deck a lot. I mean, just this week, it's already been in multiple readings, and I know that I'm going to enjoy bringing her along for the ride in everything that I'm doing as far as offering works, or in regards to people who want more clarity on the deity that they're walking with, and just also in general tarot readings. This deck is a great clarifier. So this is the Human Spirit Oracle by Jenna Della Grottalia. Don't love the artwork as much as Mystical Shaman, but this deck is a really, really great tool. It's a really, really great tool to have in the cool toolkit. I almost said something that, oh my God. Is anyone else experiencing Mercury retrograde to the degree that I am? This morning, Vincent was getting ready for school and he's like, Mom, is it still Mercury in retrograde for real? So we're both feeling it here. I don't know if you guys are feeling it, but yeah, the struggle is real here. So that was Human Spirit Oracle. Next, Fallen Angels Oracle. Oh my God, guys. I am so like just lustily in love with this deck right now. I'm sleeping with this deck. We're going everywhere together. We're doing our thing together. I freaking love this deck. And it's been so nice to reconnect with it because the deck went on vacation for a little while. And then I had to pull it out for a working that I'm doing with a client right now. And I was like, you know how some decks just feel good? This is going to be such a chatty video. I'm sorry, guys. But you know how some decks just like feel good in your hands? This is one of those decks. Like, oh, it's like the perfect size. The cardstock is perfectly broken in after years and years and years of working with this deck. And oh, I just love this deck so much. Like, it's so honest, but it's not mean. It's just, it's like that friend that's going to tell you when you don't look good in the dress because they love you, not because they're trying to make you feel bad about yourself, but because they love you. You know, they're like, you know, get that you are loving this dress, but I really think it's not the look you're going for. Like, this deck is that friend that's just going to be honest with you, but it's coming from a place of love. When I first was working with this deck years ago, and I'll have to go back and look at my first review of this deck because I was still married. It was a really long time ago. I really felt that kind of tricksy energy that I feel with the Fae realm, that energy could pop up with this deck, that I really had to work with it. And when I was in a clear space, I would say you may find that to be the case, but over the years, it's really shifted to now, like, this is who I want as a best friend. This is the kind of energy that I want in my life. Is this deck is like ride or die, but honest, and also knows you and loves you. Like, I feel like the Fallen Angels Oracle knows me and loves me and just wants me to have the best experience as Racine that I can have. So this deck is like ride or die bestie, but I'm also crushing on it really hard right now. Like, I have been using this deck a lot and I just have left it out so I can look at it and I sleep with it under my pillow at night and I just freaking love this deck. So that's Fallen Angels Oracle. Okay, I did Deviant Moon. So in my, I have a mentoring student right now. And so in my teaching practice, I have been using the Dreamkeepers Oracle. I'm sorry that everything is in their boxes right now, guys, for the most part, but I'm trying to find the right bookshelf. I need something else for my decks. And it'll come. I've asked the universe, I've asked my peeps, like, guys, I need the right bookshelf to house my decks. But until then, I'm really keeping everything in their boxes so that nobody gets damaged and I don't lose them unless they want to go on walkabout like the Fairies Oracle. But we have been using the Dreamkeeper. I digress yet again. We've been using the Dreamkeepers Tarot with one of my mentoring students right now. And I forgot how much I love this deck. I was like, oh man, this deck is so good at the liminal space. It's so good to access psychic knowings and intuitive understandings, and it's perfect for the liminal space. And with it being like so wet and dreary and cold and gray here, that's not super cold, but it's just like damp, so you feel cold, you know? There's something about that that feels like I'm kind of trapped in an in-between space, and this deck is mirroring that perfectly. So this is the Dreamkeepers Tarot by Liz Houston. So many of you were like, Rayson, you're gonna love this deck, and you guys were right. I love this deck, but I had kind of like forgotten how much I love her, and I am so stoked to be working with her again. And I'm like, I need to. And also, can we just say this Nine of Pentacles, like, for real, one of my favorite Nine of Pentacles ever. Look at how glorious that is. I feel like my entire life story is the Nine of Pentacles, and I really feel like this deck mirrors that experience so well. And like, look at the ghostly entity being in the back there. I just freaking love this deck. So this is the Dreamkeepers Tarot. If you want to explore astral travel, embrace your witchy side, grow your psychic ability, get comfortable with the liminal space, the in-between, or if you feel stuck on your journey at this time, give the Dreamkeepers Tarot a try. You can thank me later. Okay, that's that, baby. All right, let's have real talk. I have a couple decks coming up here that are investment decks. I'm not participating in a lot of the dialogue that's going on within the tarot online community right now around decks for the most part. But I do, when I invest in a deck, or a viewer or client invests in a deck for me, I almost always feel that those investments are worth the price. If I don't, I would always be honest with you guys and let you know. I think you know that. I've got a pretty good track record. I've been doing this for a long time. These next two decks are investment decks. And I love both of them. And they have been like my light and brightness in the spring of 2023. So these two decks are, I'm really, really loving them. Actually, the next three, because the third deck is an investment as well. But the first one I want to talk about is the Tarot by Caitlin Madison. A viewer recently gifted this to me, and I have, thanks to one of my wonderful dear sisters in tarot, known of this deck and fallen in love with the artwork for some time. I have not recorded an unboxing yet, and so I think I'm going to do just a full review of this deck, and that will be coming to the channel too. But this is the Tarot by Caitlin Madison. It is going to run you about $100. She's a big bitch. This is Les Vampyres, and Les Vampyres is actually like, well, they're pretty close in size. So the artwork is like witchy Woodstock, and I love it as a reader because it's sassy, it's sexy, it's giving me very like Maiden, but I listen to Jimi Hendrix energy, and I really love how tongue-in-cheek she is. She's very playful. Like, you might have a question that you want to ask her, so you're talking to her and she's like, nah, I don't want to tell you that story. I want to tell you another story today. And that's what she's like. So this is the Tarot by Caitlin Madison. And I've just really been enjoying how sassy and sexy and just unapologetically maiden energy she is. But I'm in the 60s with her, you know, and that's not usually a place that I hang out in, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. And I'm really, really enjoying working with her. So that's the Tarot by Caitlin Madison. The next deck was gifted to me by a wonderful, again, wonderful sister in tarot and lovely, lovely friend. She, over the years, has gifted so many decks that so many of you have been able to see me work with because of her. So we all want to send our love to her right now. She gifted me the Ocean Dreams Oracle. This is another investment deck. I'm always on the fence with Danielle Noel, however you say her last name. Part of me loves some of her artwork. Part of me can't stand it. And I always think I'm gonna like, here's the thing. I always think that I'm gonna have this really like sacred experience with her decks. And like, I'm gonna bow before the altar and like have this experience. And sometimes they feel, I'll be really honest, like a little bit vapid. And like, I prepared for the ritual, but they showed up and they slept late and they were high the night before. So they're a little bit out of it. And like, they had too much wine, so they're not really sure what they're doing. And they're just like, can we just get through this ritual? Like sometimes that's the experience I have with Danielle's decks. And then other times they're just super clear and super beautiful. And there is a very reverent experience. And I have been using this deck in conjunction with Venus. Now, typically when I work with Danielle's decks, I think of Magdalene energy. But I've actually been using this deck in conjunction to Venus, and it's been really powerful. While I appreciate the work that she brought to the guidebook, it is not a throwaway guidebook. I don't want you to think I'm saying don't even look at your guidebook. It's absolutely worth reading and paying attention to, but I've really been using this deck completely intuitively. It's my favorite type of cardstock. It's that like velvety, matte, sumptuous feel. And it is not indicative of the ocean for me. So part of this has been take it away from the ocean, because I experience the ocean as a roaring, powerful, just energy, right? The tide, like violent moving of the tides, right? I don't see it as this kind of turquoise, soft oasis type of energy, and Danielle does, and that's beautiful. And many of you do, because her decks are very popular. But I took it out of the ocean. I was like, I'm gonna uncouple it from the ocean and I'm gonna move it over to Venus. And connected to Venus, I have really had profound experiences with this deck in actually being gentle to myself. This deck has been very profound for that. And I used this deck to pull for our Beltane observance, those of you who joined me, and I felt like the draw for that observance was so palpable and powerful, and I walked away from Beltane really feeling a depth of gratitude to this deck. So this is the Ocean Dreams deck by Danielle Noel. You may want to work with it. It is an investment deck. You are going to get the luxury that you're expecting from purchasing one of Danielle's decks. Like, I do feel for her price, you know what you're going to get for cardstock. You know what you're going to get for card shape and edging and all those little extra beautiful goodies. I don't always love her tarot guidebooks. I really like her guidebooks when she does Oracle. And so I do think that the guidebook is worth a read. I just get more out of working with the deck totally intuitively, taking it out of the ocean energy and moving it more into a sacred feminine Venus energy. Sip of tea. I'm already almost at 30 minutes. So, this deck is a birthday gift to myself. I have been wanting this deck for freaking years. One of my very, very dear friends and sisters in tarot showed me this deck a long time ago, and I knew when I saw the artwork that I fucking wanted this deck, but it was an investment deck. This is a little bit less expensive than the Tarot by Caitlin Mattison and Ocean Dreams, but it's still gonna run you around $100. It's free shipping if you're stateside, but it is an $82 deck. This deck is the Abyssal Tarot by Shelley Corbett. This was my birthday gift to myself this year. My birthday's on the 14th, but I wanted to have this for my birthday. And I have recorded an unboxing. It will be coming to the channel. We'll be uploading soon. So you're gonna get to see the deck and my first thoughts immediately. But oh my God, I'm so in love with this deck. I'm so glad that I invested in it. I'm so glad that this was my gift to myself this year. Oh, there is nudity in this deck. Everything about this deck just reminds me of Liminal Space from the Choir Girl Hotel by Tori Amos energy. and it's very much in alignment with the like how I experience Satan and Lucifer's energy is representative of the sacred masculine, married to that watery realm of when you've had a significant loss in your life. You know, that in between space when you kind of feel like you're in the liminal space between doors. And it's like life is going on around you, but everything's muffled. But there's this other piece of you that's like coming from here, from a different perspective, which is seeing things through a totally new lens. And I feel like the Abyssal Tarot is so representative of that for me. And this deck is everything. She's really special, and she's going to continue to be a really, really special deck in my collection. I've been using her since she arrived this week, and I just feel a profound sense of gratitude. I'm so in love with her. So that is the Abyssal Tarot by Shelley Corbett. Most of these decks are indie. The links will be below. Again, I don't make any money off of those links. I have 3 honorable mentions. The first one I'm not even going to show you because you guys already know what it is Tarot of Vampyres. I've been using it every day since I was doing prep work for the Blade workshop. And that deck is my husband, as we all know. And he's gorgeous. And go see my Date My Decks video, the latest installment, if you want to know what's... Wait, was that the latest one? I don't know. There's one in the Date My Decks list where I talk about who he is. But he's my husband. We know he's ride or die. He's here forever. But I have been using that deck daily, so it does need to be on this list because I use it every day. I have been since January. So still on the list, been on the list forever, will always be on the list, but it's honorable mentions I'm not gonna show you because you guys all know. The other 2 honorable mentions I have are the Magick of You Oracle and the Magickal Botanical Oracle. I've been using these in mentoring projects right now, and I have to say, the viewer who gifted me Magickal Botanical, you know me better than I know myself. I am obsessed with this deck. One of the cards I do have plans to get a tattoo of. It's so beautiful. Yeah, I'm in love with this deck. It's really gorgeous. I haven't been using it daily, but it is part of mentorship work that I'm doing right now. And I just love the essence of her. I feel like she smells like that gorgeous smell when you're like in a garden in the summer and you're like underneath like grapevines. And you get that beautiful, like, herby, kind of damp earth smell. It's almost like a moldering smell. And you're like, oh, it's very dank. It's very mysterious. And it kind of pulls you in. And so I like having it on my main altar because it just adds that. I feel like it like adds that essence to my house and our life. And so, yeah, both of these decks, honorable mentions. This has been a very long spring favorites video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. It's been so fun to talk about these decks. I'm so in love with them. I'm so blessed to get to read full time for work, and I get to hang out with these decks all the time. And they really are personified for me. They have their own energies and personalities, and I fucking love hanging out with them. And I love hanging out with you. I am sending you, as always, much love and many blessings. I'll see you in the next video.